So welcome back. In the last video we made this section right here of the sword, which is the sword guard or the hilt guard. And what we're going to do now that this is created, we're going to go ahead and duplicate it. So how are we going to do that? So in edit mode, I'm going to hovering over this, I'm going to hit L. And then I'm going to go do Shift D to duplicate this. And I'm going to move it right over here. So now as you can see, this is a copy of this within still the same object. And then now that this has been moved, I'm going to go ahead and rotate it to this angle. And then move it. And then slowly line it up as well with the other side. So this is one of those occasions, as you can see, the shape of the object is going to probably require to have some adjustments and such, but since you're able to duplicate this, you recycled a good portion of it, so you save a little bit of time. So once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and start adjusting some of the shapes and make probably a cut or two to give me the look that I want. So I'm going to hit 2 to go to edge mode. I'm going to select this series right here, and with Alt Z, so I can see in 3D mode, I'm going to take this, hit Alt, take this element in here and take this and rotate this edge so it kind of fits with the meeting point of this blade. Good. Kind of center it and then take it and scale it a tiny bit uniform using the white gizmo. So that's probably the thicker element. And then if you need to, adjust a little bit more so it fits right along the lines. And then after I've done that, I'm going to hit Alt and select this row. No, that's not how it works. No, you know what? You could just simply just do a drag selection. Boom. It's good. All good. And then you're going to do a loop cut on here. Boom. After you've done your loop cut, you're going to rotate it so it kind of fits more with the contour of the blade. You're going to take this and move it. Align it with the shape. And let's see, how does that look? I think that is okay. Let's go ahead and exit edit mode to object mode, go to shading right here, up here for the regular shading, and then see how it looks. See, not too shabby. Kind of fits, works very well. So we're going to go ahead and do the last part, which again, this is going to be a lot of recycling. This little element right here on the sword could be reused endlessly. So again, we're going to make a duplicate of that. So go to edit mode, and then when you're hovering over this mesh, you press L, select the whole element, and then you put Shift D to duplicate this up, and we're going to go ahead and make rotations. Probably best go to top view to make sure we rotate this correctly, because as you can see, it's going in the other orientation. So that's good right there. Cool. Rotate it in the proper orientation that's got to be. And then we're going to take this, move it kind of more or less where it fits with the shape we're going for, or at least the contour. And then after we've done that, we're going to need a little bit of scaling to make sure that this works as a whole. So take this, move it up to the point right here. Kind of starts, scale it a tiny bit more. And then this is the part where your recycling can only go so far. So you're going to have to take these loop rings and start to move them so it kind of fits with the shape of the sword. So unclick on everything, hit Alt on this one right here, drag it down. Kind of where you see the meeting point is. And after you've done that, let's go to wireframe and then rotate it so it kind of fits more in line with the shape of where it should be. And then you're going to take the other edge cuts, edge loops, and do the same. Alt, move it maybe about right here, Alt, and then move it right here. So I think the issue that we're going to have now is probably, and I can show you in 3D shaded mode, is that the blade handle is a little bit too thick. As you can see, it kind of protrudes out, so we're going to go ahead and flatten it out, because it's usually better on a sword to have something a little bit more flatter to hold a sword as opposed to something that's just a bar that it's easier to slip and such. So we're going to go into this view, press 1 and Alt Z, and then basically, or you know what, you can go to press 2, Alt, Shift Alt, and Shift Alt, and then maybe also this one as well, because that could be where it starts to meet. Good place to do your flattening of the blade or the end of the handle. So then when I select all of those rings, I'm going to go into the red cursor here and scale it a little bit. So now, as you can see, I've flattened the hilt of the blade. If you go to shaded mode, as you can see, it just about fits perfectly with the shape of it. Cool. I'm going to go ahead and control save to save my work, and then now we're going to add more loop cuts to this so you kind of have it's more in line with the shape of the blade. So to do that, we're going to go into wireframe mode, Alt Z to go into X-ray mode, and then if you press 1, go to vertices, and then take these right here. As you can see, the width is not the width, or the width of the handle is not as good as you would hope, or at least it doesn't line up too well. So I'm going to go, first one I'm going to adjust is this one right here. 2 to go to edge mode, Alt, and I'm going to go ahead and non-uniform scale this on the green axis. So it's kind of thicker in line with the overall thickness of the hilt, and then rotate this so it kind of fits more with the shape of it. And then the same deal here. Alt click on this, scale, and I'm scaling just on the green axis, so just scaling Y width, move it and adjust it to kind of where it should be, and then go to the top one, Alt, and as you can see, the rotation is probably a little bit off on this one, but let's go ahead and scale this on the green axis, just like that, and then I'm going to take and rotate it on the red one so it kind of, the rotation fits more in line with the contour of the hilt of the blade. It's good. And then as you can see now, it's a little bit low poly, so this could probably afford more cuts. So I am going to go and select these right here, make a loop cut, boom, go to vertice mode, adjust them in this view. That's nice, cool. Let's see, could it use one more? A little torn, but yeah, let's go ahead and do one more. So select this whole row down here, loop cut, and then you go into move, Alt on this one again, scale it on the green axis once more to width, make it a little wider, and then hit Alt on this one, green axis again, scale it so it's a little wider, and then move it to adjust. Fits with the shape of the blade, a tiny bit wider, I think. And I think that should be it. So let's go ahead and exit edit mode. Come down to get a look at the blade, and as you can see, let's delete that. You don't need the reference material anymore. And as you can see now you have a nice, beautiful, low poly sword that could be used in any sort of game. So that's going to be the end of this tutorial. Hopefully, as a first assignment, it hasn't been too much, or hopefully it's not been too difficult to listen to my voice to go through all this and such, and it's been easy to follow. So if you have any questions while you're working on this, of course, I'll be on Zoom to answer those, but that is the end of your first assignment. And if you do that correctly, you should have a brand new sword. So thank you very much.